can I say curse words?
Something about riding a cowboy.
I just think she sounds like she's out of breath. Well, we are here with Kendahl Landreth and Sarah Schauer. Thank you guys for coming to our rinky-dink hotel room to film this.
It's gorgeous.
It's nice. It's so much bigger than mine.
We spruced it up for you guys.
It looks amazing.
Well, here at Allegedly Speaking, we love to start each segment with our guests to ask them an unpopular opinion or hot take that they have. So, what are yours?
Okay, my hot take, my girlfriend always tells me is not a hot take, but every time we go to a zoo, which is not often, or just sometimes a random day, I'm always like, I believe that in 100 years, we're going to incorporate gorillas into our world, and then they're going to take over. And every single time my girlfriend's like, yeah, that's the plot of Planet of the Apes.
I was like, is this the plot?
What is that movie I have not seen? And I always say it like it's like a really hot take. Like I'm like, no one's ever said this before, but I really think, and I really do think that, and my girlfriend's always like, that's a movie, and they already made that, and it probably will happen.
They're the closest thing to us, so it could happen.
Yeah.
I really think it's gonna, I really think people are gonna start to be like, you can't, like, we need to have like gorillas walking around with is that what it is? A gorilla?
Yeah.
A gorilla, like there's like apes and chimpanzees, orangutans, chipmunks. I don't know. They're all like the same thing to me. But I really do think we're gonna start incorporating them slowly, and then eventually they're gonna turn on us. And once again, see, even now I'm saying it, I'm like, imagine.
Like,
then they turn on us.
Yeah.
It's just the plot of Planet of the Apes. So that's what I think is gonna
They're
happen.
gonna start off as like waiters first.
Yeah.
I know.
And then they're gonna kind of,
That's what I think.
Well, I hated being a waiter, and then now here I am. So like,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like,
Give
I
the
hate being a waiter,
jobs to
let's take over.
Yeah.
They all become influencers. And then they take over. It's really, maybe better than us doing it. I don't know.
And I'm scared that you're like manifesting that.
There's no need
You're
to
putting
manifest.
that energy out there.
Nothing to
They're
manifest
at
what's
the
already
door.
going to happen. I know.
They're out the door.
I went to a zoo one time recently, and they were nice.
It was a good
It was
zoo.
a good. It wasn't one of those bad. It wasn't. It was like they take injured. Okay, but it doesn't matter. But I go and I see these gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big guys. It was sitting there and it had its feet up crossed and it was like looking at its hands, and I was like, that is a person.
That's terrifying.
It's so scary. They are so similar to human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I throw my shit too. I was
Yes,
gonna say, I don't know if I could curse.
Absolutely. Yes, you can. We do bleep
I
it.
go to the zoo and I'm like, that's eerie behavior. I feel like I have deja vu.
Well, what's your unpopular opinion or hot take? I know you were struggling for a second.
I know, I was like, medication should be free. My less hot take is chartreuse is a lime green color, and it sounds like it should be a red color.
Yeah.
It should be pink.
Chartreuse sounds like a deep...
I didn't know. That's crazy you just said that, because I never looked up what it looks like, and I've just assumed it was a pink.
Yeah.
It's this like color.
That's
This
neon
is a
green.
chartreuse.
Like,
Like that.
Yeah, like it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is yellow, but like, sorry. Bring the apes in. They've got better opinion. No, like just the way that chartreuse sounds like it should be labeling like a red or pink color.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it should be like a lime green color.
like chartreuse and magenta, I feel like should be switched. I think we've mislabeled them. That's my hot take right now.
I feel like I'm too familiar with magenta. Yeah.
Is it because of Blue's Clues?
I was
Kind of, yeah. We're very
Bunny,
close.
not
Yes.
bunny. What is it? A dog?
It's a dog.
The gorilla.
It's a dog. The gorilla.
Yes.
Take a shot every time we say gorilla.
And I thought another hot take. This is just us realizing none of us know what hot takes are. Like the same things I didn't know, which are not really hot takes. But I thought they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Blue's Clues and Magenta.
Aren't they siblings?
I don't know.
They were dating?
Yeah.
I thought they were dating, but they're both girls. As if girls
yeah.
get
I'm
like
like, both lesbians.
my girlfriend.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
They're before their time.
Exactly. I didn't know there were two girls.
Now, I was talking to Kyle, so we have the same manager, Kyle, and I was like, oh, what gets them going? Family channels.
Kyle, where's Kyle? This is a bad idea.
out here.
I'm gonna hijack this whole thing, and it's gonna be 6 hours later, and you're gonna be like, please stop.
Do you
Yeah.
like them? Like what?
No, I'm obsessed
Yeah.
with them. I hate them. I burning passion hate them. I morally disagree
Yeah.
with so much with all of it. I am their number one viewer. It's like it probably wouldn't even be a problem if I stopped watching it.
Like,
you
I
hate
gotta
watching
stop.
them.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like.
You run like a click farm, and you have like 20 different computers. Like, oh fuck down. I hate this.
She's funding the Ace
I'm on
Family
Reddit.
Mansion.
Yeah.
I don't comment on Reddit, but I'm like the
Oh.
first. Sometimes I'm like I should start the Reddit pages because I'm the first. Sometimes I go on the Reddit and I'm like they don't know the information I know yet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to drop for that. I'm always the first to know everything. I'm just infatuated because they're all a little insane.
Yeah, and like take advantage of their kids. Like it's kind of crazy. Imagine, so they film, like there are like daily family vlog channels where they film 8 hours a day. Could you imagine if your partner woke up and then started filming you for 8 hours? If I was a child, if that happened to me, I would literally go insane. And so since they're children, they can't like leave the house, and they just have to like imagine like your most private moments. First time they shave their legs. Oh my God, they're menstruating. You
Do it
know?
again.
Yes.
It's bizarre. Yeah.
They're like, oh, next month we gotta get the better shot.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's so weird. And then they try to hide it and like disguise it with like, oh, as a family, we're gonna like play a game where we win money, and all you have to do is roll this ball. And it's like that hides all the other stuff. Where they're like, oh, we gave our kids like $100 each, but I'm like, did you really?
Yeah.
Where is that going?
And it's also like, that's a job. It's like a job.
You're working.
It's like, and some of them are literally 2 years old.
Yeah.
And they're like the main character. And I think like anything else, it's, you know, it's a spectrum of what's worse to it doesn't really matter. Like some people, I don't think everyone is terrible and malicious, but there are some of them that I am like, I can't, I'll give you one video to watch if you're like, I gotta get into family channels.
I need a wrap.
If you want to get into family channels, I'll encourage you. There's one video called My Family Gets in a Car Crash on the First Day of School. Spoiler alert, they don't get in a car crash on the first day of school. They're not in a car crash at all. This woman sees a car crash, and then because she's like, oh, I need to make a good vlog, she's like, we might have been in a car crash, and she's like running on the side of the road. It's from 8 passengers.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen, because everyone's just like, ma'am, you were not in the car crash, and she's like, but maybe I was. We don't really know. And she's like trying to make it seem like she was in a car crash, because that's what's so scary about it.
Yeah.
These people have to heighten every. When I was a kid, if something really dramatic happened, my mom was the one who would like bring it down. Would be like, everything's okay. But if your mom's a vlogger, she's got to be like, we've got to make this the worst
You better cry.
ever be. So it's scary. But I have gone down the rabbit
In
hole.
summation, it's like down with family channels.
Yeah.
But you would have nothing else to watch if you weren't hate watching them.
I would say that mommy vloggers are like more getting it right because they're taking their babies off the internet, and like mommy vloggers and family vloggers are different, and like mommy vloggers do give like reasonable like lifestyle advice without showing off their kids and like starting to remove their kids. The family channels, you have to have the whole family in the shot.
Yeah.
So I want to say that I do like mommy vloggers.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like they were essentially first. I feel like mommy vloggers was like more normalized.
Well, they were like the
first.
bloggers.
Yes.
They did like, here's how, which I'm like, that's awesome. You should totally have a community of people that's like, help me, my kid is terrible, which I assume all moms are saying. This is the worst thing I've ever done, help me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that you should have a community for that. But sometimes people love to say they're spreading awareness for things. I'm like, what are you spreading awareness? Like,
We're completely aware.
I've got to show my kids to spread awareness for parenting. I'm like, we know you have a kid. I'm aware. I don't really care. Just talk about it. You don't have to show the front of their school to do that.
Yeah.
They're like, no one was aware that my kid went to St. John's Elementary School in Kansas. I'm like, that's good. They should know that.
Well, to get you off of family channels,
Thank
like
you.
we could talk forever. I would
Yeah.
love to do like a whole thing just on that. Now, do you guys do stand up?
I do stand up.
You do stand up.
Yes.
Stand up is something people have been like, you should do it for like to build like, you know, comedy and stuff like that. Have you ever had to deal with a heckler? Because that's what keeps me from doing it.
I haven't had to deal with a heckler, but there was this really funny interaction. Can I say curse words?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so like I was at this like a very small show and everyone was like wasted, and there's a guy on stage, he's being super misogynistic, and he's like, my bitch just got an abortion, and then this girl in the audience who's wasted is like, ha, Saturday night. And he's like, you got an abortion on Saturday night? And she's like, no, I went to Chick-fil-A. And I was like, what the hell is she talking about? I've never had to deal with like a heckler myself, which I don't even know if she was heckling. She was just like
Stream of consciousness.
Yes. And he couldn't even like banter with her because she's just like so far gone. But I was like, good for her. Like she just threw a wrench in this
No, I
whole.
love her.
It was like an intrusive thought.
Yeah.
Just, I'm going to use this now. I'm going to do it right now.
I love that.
Now, is it like hard to prepare for stand? Because I'm talking to you guys, and this is hysterical. Like just talking to you, like
oh my
just like do you prepare for it? Or you're just like, I'm gonna go tell a story today. Like, what should I talk about?
I think the only thing I have to know if the majority of the audience is straight or gay. Because gay, I can like get into more like, because everyone knows, no offense, a lot of stuff about gay guys.
Yes.
But not lesbians. So when it comes to the straight audience, I need to give way too much context. So I make it more like universal jokes. And then, I don't know why I said no offense. You're like,
I'm like, I know I am.
And then, but yeah, but I've also been online for like 10 years now, so I just go on my time hop and I'm like, I posted this, so let me reword it, and it's a joke now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing like I have recently learned about like lesbians is that U-hauling is like a term that like you U-hauled, which means like I guess like after 3 days of knowing each other, like let's move in together. Let's pack all of our shit and go do that.
I love this realization. You were like, you
I was like, oh, U-haul, but I didn't understand that like that's what you deem it. You're like, oh, we U-hauled, or like we got a U-haul.
Because gay men do not do that.
No,
not
at all.
to generalize, but I know a lot of gay men.
Yeah.
And I'll always be like, how's your boyfriend? And that you've been dating for 3 years. And they'll be like, okay, I wouldn't know if I call them my boyfriend.
Yeah.
We see each other 5 times a week, and it's more of like, I like him, but like, I'm just figuring it out. And they've literally been together for 3 years. I'm
We
like,
say I love you, but it's like,
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. We're going to move into a little game with you guys.
All right.
We love your opinions, so I feel like you'll have some on this.
All right.
We are going to play underrated or overrated with some celebrities
Okay.
that have been in, that are kind of popular right now. So we'll have Dahlia start with this
Okay.
one.
Okay.
First one. Pedro Pascal.
I say underrated.
Underrated.
I
Okay.
love him. I would have, he's probably not, he's talked about a lot, so he's not underrated, but I say talk about him more.
there's actually, he's not underrated because he's fairly popular. I'm just going to say underrated to be safe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I think he's overrated. Like, personally, I feel like he's talked about too much.
Yeah.
Yes, he's talked about too much. Yes, he was great in The Last of Us. That's amazing, fantastic.
Yeah.
But, like, this whole, like, daddy-fied version of him, I'm like,
Oh, I haven't seen that version.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're also lesbians,
to
so
look it
we're
up.
like kind of off the grid.
yeah, they, like, just,
Yeah.
he's been glorified, and now, like, people are like, ooh, it's him with, like, a tight shirt on, or,
Yeah.
So it's, like, not my thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just
You, like,
overrated. Yeah, what do you?
loose-fitting
Even
clothes.
you make faces at me when I say overrated, and then you never answer.
Listen, I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's great. Well, I think he's great. He's an amazing actor, and I think he's a handsome man. And there is an edit that I saw of him that kind of got me hooked. It was where he was like something about riding a cowboy, and I was like,
Was it Pony, the song Pony?
yes. And I was like, oh my god. But I'm not like that though. Like I'm not. Well,
You seem like maybe you
maybe
could be
a little
there,
bit.
and that's okay.
yeah.
You're getting all
I plead the
hot-bothered.
fifth.
We'll move on to something.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
This is all alleged.
Ice Spice.
Underrated.
Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah. Underrated.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Nothing
No,
to
let's
say
do
about
it.
that.
Did you want
I-
a fist fight?
I do, actually. I don't want to hurt you because I almost went to shake your
Just
hand. I was like,
couple
oh, like, great.
I'm a lefty. No.
I'll say right here. I said overrated, and this is because I love her success and her trajectory. I just think she sounds like she's out of breath. Like when she says and enunciates every word.
But that's the style.
That's what you keep saying. It's a style, but I'm like,
And do what I did. Nothing?
no.
Oh my god. Next.
Next.
Okay. Ooh. Timothy Chalamet.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Oh my god.
100%. If
Overrated.
I see one, it's so hard when a man becomes famous who looks like 60 people I went to high school with.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I literally was in chemistry class with him.
Yeah. I think he is overrated. And the thing is like, he's not a bad guy. Good actor, but you know when people just beat something to death? Like the scrolling TikTok, I'm like, I get it. Like, he's a nice guy, probably.
Yeah.
But I can't see anymore. Yeah.
We've had enough.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where my Pedro Pascal like overrated comes from. It's like I've had enough. I've seen
Yeah.
too much
Yeah, true.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I agree with overrated for him too. Because it's like I've seen it. I've seen it enough. Like we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to me, my level is like, when I think of underrated or overrated, I think Timothy Chalamet is like my poster child for overrated.
Yeah.
So then when I think of Pedro Pascal, I'm like, well, he's not
Yeah.
up there with Timothy Chalamet, so
Yeah.
I say underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
sliding scale. It's
Yeah.
like where do they fit on that? Well, you said people you see too much. What about Jenna Ortega?
They were doing, I said this before on our podcast, they're Timothy Chalamet, Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
They're like beating her to, I'm like, I love her personality. I want to like reserve her a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like stop with the interviews. Not
People are like,
right
do
now.
the dance.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah,
Leave her alone.
They're like, horror. And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Is that enough? But I will produce Wednesday.
Yeah.
The next one.
I almost say underrated, which is insane. I know that's not right. She's definitely overrated.
Yeah.
But I'd say underrated because I really find her just to be incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Scream, the new Scream, twice. Which, if you've seen Scream once, you know that's too many times to go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Because I just thought she was such a delight. I thought she was so interesting to watch. Whereas, like, some other people who are Jenna Ortega level of fame, I'm like, I don't really care as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like, because I loved Wednesday. I loved her in it. But now she's like, we're taking it a different way because I didn't like the love story aspect of it. I was like, ooh, I think that's kind of what made it go viral because people were like shipping people together. And now she's like, I've had enough. We're done with that. Back to scary blood, death. Like, I was like, ooh. But yeah, I agree. I don't know where she'll go next because, like, if she gets to that peak, then we'll be like, God, another Jenna Ortega thing. Like, okay, which I kind of got to that point, right? I don't know about how you feel about that.
I don't know. I think there's so many celebrities that like, and not to be. This isn't a hold on. This isn't a mean thing, but I'm just like kind of indifferent. Like I'm like Timothy Chalamet. He's awesome. He's great. I like to watch him in things.
Yeah.
But I'm not like I'm not big into like stan culture.
The same way,
So I'm like. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
go for it. I don't know.
But you're not into stan culture?
No.
You stan family channels, I feel like, though. In a
There's one
negative
count. I'm a part of those families.
They say I'm a part of their family.
Yeah.
Everyone who watches.
I'm in the intros.
They
so
gotcha. Gotcha.
But even them, I can't imagine. Even if I met one of them, well, actually, I can't even talk about family channels. That is too. It does something to me. If I met anyone I like as a celebrity, I feel like it is so hard. I'm not a fangirl. I can't fangirl.
Same. Yeah.
Have you met any celebrities? Let's start with that. Like celebrity, like not influencer.
There was at the last place I lived, there was an Italian restaurant across the street. Always went in, and David Spade was always there. At the first time, I was like, oh my God, David. Second time, I was like, Dave? And then the third time, I was like, he works here probably, you know, like, or that he thought I worked there. But like, I mean, I guess I was like, the first time, I was like, oh my God, I love Joe Dirt. He's like, no one ever really says that. But yeah.
That's so funny. I had an English teacher who made us watch Joe Dirt all the time in 8th grade.
For like grammatical errors?
It should have been. Just because he was like a PE teacher who suddenly had to be our English teacher. But I met, I was a server at a restaurant and I met Steve Martin. I served Steve Martin. And that was the first time I ever got like, I'm like really.
For a second.
Yeah, a little nervous. Yeah, like I was really, it felt insane to me, which is surprising because of course, he's an icon, but I was never like, I'm Steve Martin's #1 fan. But just he's one of those people you meet and you're like, whoa, you're a real person.
You're shaking his like Diet Coke. You're like, here you go, Steve Martin.
And he was so nice. He was one of those celebrities that sometimes I'm like, I wish you would just like I served Remy Malek one time, who's very nice, but he didn't like, he wasn't trying to be like, I'm a normal person just like you. Like, he was just kind of like ordered and was like, thank you, which was great. Steve Martin was so nice that I almost was like, you gotta stop talking to me. He was like, how's your day going? And I was like, don't ask me
You're like,
that.
I'm getting fired. That's what's happening.
I'm gonna pee myself.
I'm gonna follow you home.
Yes.
You just have like these intrusive thoughts, like, yeah, like I will find where you live.
Yes.
Like, you're inviting me over. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Well, those sound like relatively good experiences.
Yeah.
Meeting people. Have you ever had like a negative experience, whether it's a celebrity or an influencer? No names need to be named, but like, I feel like sometimes they're so bad that they're comical.
I will say a name because she never worked together.
I will say a name.
This is insane. But I served at this restaurant. I don't talk too much about this restaurant, but I served Catherine McPhee one time.
Oh, yeah.
And she was fine. Her mom was like, she comes in and she was like, we need a private table for Catherine McPhee. And I was like, well, at the time, I'm not really into the Broadway. So I was kind of like, do you mean from American Idol in 2005?
I was like,
Wait, no,
Broadway.
she's a Republican.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's talk about her.
And she didn't win American Idol, so you know what? 2 losses there.
But I like didn't know because my dad called me. He was like, Catherine McPhee. He like loved Catherine McPhee. He told me all this stuff she'd been in. But at the time I was like, she was in American Idol in 2007. And her mom comes and she's like, we need a private table. I was like, well, our restaurant doesn't have private tables. You see, there's like 10 tables here. That's what we have.
Yeah.
And I was like, also we have like a 30-minute wait. And she was like, well, Catherine McPhee, my daughter, Catherine McPhee.
It was her mom.
It was her mom, yeah. My daughter, Catherine McPhee, needs a private table. And also we need to be seated now. And I was just like, so I'm not trying to be rude, but nobody's gonna mob Catherine McPhee's table. I don't know how to tell you that, but also like it was a nice restaurant, so a lot of like kind of celebrity. Like we did Taylor Swift eat there, you know. So I was just like, I don't know how to tell you that your daughter can just sit at any table. It's okay. And also we don't have a table. I'm so sorry. That's the only thing though.
I don't have a negative celebrity experience or influencer. I don't know. My brain kind of like erases everything from like over a year ago.
Resets.
Yeah.
You can say my name.
She's like, I actually do a podcast with this girl. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, that was prompted because I was telling Dahlia about this story, how I was an intern for like this show, and I had to go get a bagel for G-Eazy, but he never told me to get the bagel. His team told me to get the bagel.
And he was in the back, like...
He was in the back just like sitting there, like not looking, like looking through me if he did look at me.
Insane.
Got him the bagel after taking a taxi through New York City like 20 minutes.
It's raining.
Got back, it's pouring rain. I'm soaking wet. I'm like, here's the bagel. They're like, oh, well, this is wrong. And I was like, who said it was wrong? G-Eazy, because it didn't even get back to him. And they're like, well, no, now we need 10 other bagels too.
For G-Eazy?
Yeah, I went back.
Big bagel guy.
Hungry boy.
He's on a gold carb diet.
They're like, it's for G-Eazy. It's for G-Eazy. I was like, okay, whatever. I go back, I get them, I come back. They go on stage, they perform. I go to like clean the dressing room. Bagels unopened, untouched. I was like, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, I'm gonna eat these bagels now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like, I had a friend who, I won't give too many details, but he had an interaction with Nicki Minaj, but it was kind of with her team as well. And they were like, you need to go get her lunch. She wants Popeyes and Pizza Hut. And at the time this was in New York, so they were like, well, we don't have Pizza Hut here. So he had to go to like New Jersey and get Pizza Hut and Popeyes, which I love to eat. The thought of eating a full thing of Popeyes and Pizza Hut makes me want to like go to the hospital, like just early check in at the hospital. That's insane, but such a diva a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and two weird food items to grab.
You go together. It's just insane, yeah.
Well, Sarah and Kendahl, thank you guys so much for joining us up here on Allegedly Speaking. I hope you had fun with us.
Oh,
We had a lot of fun.
I had so much fun.
Yeah,
Thank
me and
you.
Sarah are gonna go fist fight backstage.
We will.
But thank you
He's
guys
got
so
an
much.
advantage.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. We're good.